Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales finds probable cause to charge former President Benigno Aquino III with usurpation of legislative powers in the case involving the Disbursement Acceleration Program or DAP. Morales in effect partially grants the motion for reconsideration filed by complainant Bayan Muna. But the indictment falls short of Bayan Muna's appeal to charge Aquino with graft. Usurpation of legislative powers is a lesser charge that could put the accused in prison for 6 months to 6 years with a fine not exceeding 1,000 pesos. The earlier indictment for usurpation of legislative powers against former Budget Secretary Florencio Abad also stands. Morales did not find probable cause to charge Abad with graft. Ombudsman Morales is a month from retirement. She has always faced allegations that she is partial to Aquino, who appointed her head-on. She has always maintained her integrity is intact. The Ombudsman said, quote, "A re-evaluation of the case establishes that the individual actions of Respondent Aquino and Respondent Movant Abad showed a joint purpose and design to encroach on the powers of Congress by expanding the meaning of savings to fund programs, activities, and projects under the DAP." Some 246 priests and ministers are asking the PNP for permits to carry firearms outside their homes. Philippine National Police Chief Oscar Albayalde says of the 246, 188 are priests and 58 are ministers. The PNP did not release a breakdown of the churches the clergymen belong to. Permits to carry firearms outside residence, or PTCFOR, are different from the license to own and possess firearms, or LTOPF. This means the clergymen own firearms and now want to bring their guns outside their homes. The announcement follows the series of killings of priests in the country: Marcelito Paez, Mark Ventura, and Richmond Nilo. President Rodrigo Duterte claims there will be no second chance for incompetent or erring government officials despite his record of reappointing people accused of corruption or abuse of power. Duterte says, quote, "If you make a mistake, I won't give you a second chance. No second chance because I do not own this government." He repeats his promise to fire his own appointees even after just a whiff of corruption. He adds, quote, "I don't care if my whole term will be characterized by my firing and dismissal of people in government." Despite his promise, the president has reappointed officials supposedly fired for corruption or misuse of public funds. These officials include newly appointed Agriculture Undersecretary Jose Gabriel Pompi Lavinia, as well as 3 of the 5 Presidential Commission for the Urban Poor or PCUP executives he fired in December 2017. One of the PCUP officials now back in government is Melissa Aradanas, cousin of Duterte's longtime partner Hanilet Avancenia. Duterte also retained former Philippine Health Insurance Corporation officer in charge Celestina de la Serna in PhilHealth's board of directors, despite firing her for excessive travel expenses and the government corporation's massive net income loss under her watch. A Rappler tally shows 11 other officials accused of corruption by lawmakers or investigating bodies have been reappointed or promoted. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque warns the opposition the minority-backed measure seeking to penalize government officials spreading fake news would likely be used against them. In a Senate hearing Wednesday, Roque reiterated his strong opposition to Senate Bill 1680, which seeks to impose higher penalties on government officials caught spreading false or manufactured information. Roque says it is hard to define what fake news is, even if he repeatedly uses it against news organizations. He also notes the proposed measure violates the Equal Protection Clause, saying that the 1987 Constitution protects fake news as well. Senators refute this, saying government officials are, quote, "set on a higher plane of standards." Senator Bam Aquino asks Roque if he was saying that the proposed measure would be useless in making administration officials and allies accountable. Roque admits it was indeed what he meant by his statement, citing selective justice in past administrations. He adds, it is not a policy of the Duterte administration. Trillanes refutes Roque, saying it is a policy of the current administration to use the law to harass its critics. Yuya Osako of Japan exacts sweet revenge as the Blue Samurai beat Colombia 2-1, becoming the first Asian football team to ever beat the South Americans at the World Cup. With Osako's 73rd minute goal, the Japanese avenges their loss in Brazil 2014 as Colombia played with a man down for 86 minutes in Saransk, Russia. After the intense match, the Japanese fans thoroughly clean up rows and seats they occupied in the stadium. Cleaning the stadium after matches is part of Japan's culture.